Hello, this is my learning summary video. So, the class I tutored and the teacher I supported was Workplace Math 10, and the teacher for that was Miss Burton. And two, what students did you specifically support and what did you do to help them? What was the struggle for these students? What did you do that worked and what did not? And one student that I would say I helped the most was a student named Khalid. He's an immigrant from an Arab country. I'm not really sure which one. But at the beginning of the semester, English was something that he struggled with a lot. Learning a second language and learning new math concepts is an incredibly difficult task. So I was there to support him as best as I could and explain things as simple as I could. And I think that making them laugh and really building connections with them on a more level ground really helped. And this was a two-way street though, because it did negatively affect me in some ways because, for example, the student would be on their phone and not get off it once they saw me because they now thought of me as a friend. I managed to get around this though by ignoring their device and just asking them to explain something to me or just start talking to them about the material so that they had to put their phone away and just become engaged in the activity they were doing because since they now respected or since the student respected me now as a peer and a friend, he wouldn't just ignore me, you know? Three, describe some of the growth you observed in the students. Some growth I observed was definitely with a student named Taylor. At the beginning, I could tell she wasn't the fondest of me because I tried to explain things in a more simple way. And from what I can guess, I don't really know what she thought, but I don't think she liked the feeling that she needed the extra help. Um, I don't think she liked the feeling that she needed something worded differently in a way than everyone else. And so she was constantly using Google to answer questions instead of the methods that were taught in class. And this would make her marks in tests suffer because she didn't have her phone, so she couldn't use Google to find things. However, now that we are at the end of the semester, I can see that there's a big change. I think that she saw I was helping the other students and that they were benefiting from that. And then one day she actually just specifically asked me for help. And ever since then, I don't know how or why, but she doesn't go on her phone anymore and she just asks me instead. Because I think that she doesn't really understand sometimes the way that the teacher explains it. And yeah, it was a really rapid change though. It felt like one day something just clicked and I became accepted by her and she accepted my help. I'm not sure how it happened, but I'm glad it did. And she has gone from failing the course doing quite well. And I think that she can tell it makes me genuinely happy seeing her and other students succeed. So yeah, that was a big growth. She went from not wanting to talk to me at all to saying hi to me like in public. Anyways, part two, what are some of the highlights of your peer tutoring experience? I would say a highlight was the day I realized that some of the students actually preferred my explanations over the teachers. Obviously, this wasn't all the students, but I would see some look around the classroom to make eye contact with me and then call me over. And this was completely unexpected because I did not do anything really to change their opinion of me. But from the midway mark of the semester, the energy in the classroom changed, and I felt like I was wanted instead of put there. Another highlight would be a recent one, and it's when I made a breakthrough, I guess you could call it, with a student. The student has consistently struggled in the course and has no motivation to learn or change his behavior. However, one day I sat down with him and tried to get him to do the questions, and as usual, he kind of half tried, then gave up despite my efforts of trying to keep him on task. He then started talking about music with me because he knows I play in a band. And we talked for about 10 minutes, and then after that, I kind of manipulated him into trying to answer the math question, and something changed. I'm really not sure why this happened, but something changed, and he was actually putting in effort to answer the question. And I think that it really is about making connections and getting the two-way street of respect. Once a student respects me a bit more and sees that I'm just a student too, I feel like they want to put in effort because they want me to succeed as well, because this is a course for me as well, just like it's their class and I want to see them succeed. But yeah, I'm not really sure why this happens, but constantly throughout the semester, I've seen a rapid change in students' demeanors to me as soon as we talk to each other like peers. And yeah, so in the end, we got through the entire worksheet and stopped to talk about some bands we had in common. After this, though, my teacher came up to me and said how she was regretful that she didn't realize how much of an impact having a connection over music would have helped with a student, because he's motivated by the things he likes, and talking about them gives him energy to do the things he doesn't like, I guess. Me and the teacher both agreed that if we had found out that I was a better match to tutor him than the random EAs assigned to him, then we could have maybe helped him succeed in the course. We had this realization a little too late, but it was actually still nice to be able to finally have a breakthrough with him, even though it was in the final week and all damage has been done. Anyways, so number 2, how has the peer tutoring experience supported your personal growth as a learner, leader, tutor, teacher? As a learner, I think I've learned much in this class. I know many different methods to solve problems now. These methods weren't taught to me in my pre-calculus classes, and it's interesting how I kind of prefer the simpler methods of like finding out percentages for things, rather than what was taught to me in class. As a leader, I have grown tremendously. I would say peer tutoring is an incredibly humbling experience, and I've definitely gained a lot of patience out of this. And as a tutor slash teacher, I am much better than I was before. As I said, patience was a big issue with me, but now it doesn't really seem like that. I've needed to slow down a lot for the kids to understand the concepts, and in turn, that has made me more patient and more clear in what I'm trying to say. 3, how will the peer tutoring experience benefit you in your future pathways? Um, Personally, it has already benefited me in my current job. I use the methods I've learned from teaching in a peer tutoring class to train like the new employees at Dairy Queen. I constantly ask them if it makes sense, and I try not to get mad at them if they make mistakes. And I think that I'm just much more patient and able to communicate my thoughts a lot more clearly than I was before, because before I was kind of all over the place, just trying to be like, no, wait, it makes sense like this, just trying to make it just spew it out. But now I stop to think, and I think about the person that I'm talking to and the way that I can explain it to them that'll make the most sense to them. And I think I've learned that from my peer tutoring class. Yeah. So, for what do I believe my strengths are as a peer tutor? I think that my strength is making connections with the students. I think that it's a pretty simple one, but it's incredibly impactful. And I think gaining the respect from these connections is the sole reason I think I've done well in my peer tutoring class, because I was able to sit down with the students and really get to know them. And in turn, I was able to better help them. I like being able to talk and be liked by people. And it's something that I definitely think is one of my biggest strengths, just talking and being able to find things in common with people. And 5, what is an area you would like to continue to personally develop? Personally, I think being able to grasp material quickly and then teach it to people is something that I would still like to work on, because it can definitely benefit me in the future. I was learning the material at the same time the students were, and my ability to quickly understand it and be able to word it in different ways than originally was taught has become a skill that I have learned throughout the semester and would like to continually get better at. So just learning things quicker and being able to understand them faster to be able to teach them to people in a more simple way. And I think that's something that I'm going to encounter countless times throughout my life, and it's not going to stop after this peer tutoring class. It happens all the time in my classes right now, chemistry, anything. And yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed.